Now you may be saying to yourself, doesn't Matthew 18:15 say, if your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the two of you? Again, this skill is not about confronting another person. This skill is about getting clear within yourself. That is why it is not uncommon to go up the ladder several times to make sure all hints of blaming have been removed. That is when you know you are ready to talk to the other person. But there also may be times when, after working with the ladder, getting clear within yourself was enough, and there is no need for you to go to the other person. A friend of ours was recently asked to assume greater responsibility as a volunteer within a Christian organization. Rather than simply say yes out of guilt and the great need, something she'd done in the past, she went up the ladder prayerfully to sort out her unease and get clear about her values. It became clear to her that if she did this, she would be violating her own value of self-care and quality time with her family. This led her to say a healthy no, which she did. It was not necessary for her to explain the whole backstory of her values and process. Again, there are situations like this where the goal is just to get clear within yourself.
We have used the Climb the Ladder of Integrity in a variety of situations. We've used it in our marriage, in parenting, and with staff at our church. For example, one of our staff wrote out the ladder on his own and went over it with me. It took a couple of times up the ladder for him to get to his core value. Once he got clear about his core value, he no longer felt reactive and was able to have a non-blaming conversation with another staff he had been avoiding. We are asking you to practice this skill before the next session. This can be done in a few different ways. Once you go up the ladder, you may decide, or not, to go over it with a neutral person for the purpose of making sure you are clear and that all blame has been removed. After processing the ladder, you may decide, or not, if you want to have a conversation about your value. In Phil's case, it was necessary that he do have the conversation. In your case, it might not be necessary.
Now, Jesus is our model of integrity. He was able to hold on to his integrity during his short earthly life. He resisted the temptations of the voices around him to pull him away from what the Father had uniquely given him to do. We wouldn't be here today with you if Jerry had not gotten clear on her values and integrity. This enabled her to come to me in January of 1996 when I was lead pastor of our church and say to me, I quit the church. It was the most loving thing she ever did to me, or for me. Her integrity forced me to look at where I was not living from mine, where I was saying yes when I really wanted to say no, where I cared too much for what other people thought, and where I sometimes exaggerated to make myself look better. This drove me to God, who then met me during that very difficult season. Not only was I radically transformed, but so was our marriage and our church. It also resulted in the birthing of emotionally healthy spirituality, which is now being used around the world. You see, when you find your integrity, everyone around you experiences a newfound freedom as well. We have seen this again and again. And of course, you will want to do week 6 on the ladder of integrity in the book, The Emotionally Healthy Relationships Day-by-Day Devotional. I have found that silence and stillness during times with God have been significant times where he has melted layers of pretense and superficiality in my own life. I encourage you to be open for the Holy Spirit to talk to you during those times as well. Let me close with this, my favorite Hasidic tale that points out our tendency to want to live out someone else's life rather than our own. Rabbi Susia, when he was an old man, said, "In the coming world, they will not ask you, 'Why were you not Moses?' They will ask me, 'Why were you not Susia? Why were you not yourself?'" For this reason, the ladder of integrity may hold a powerful key to unlock the door into spiritual maturity for you and enter into the beautiful life God has destined for you.